Hey guys, Crobat for the win here, bringing you an OU Showdown battle versus my Nostalgic Pass. It does not have any YouTubes or any other channels, so there's nothing really to check out. Regardless, I'm on the other side, username Michael Bluth. Yep, Michael Bluth. So I lead with Landers T as he leads Landers T. We each get our Intimidates off. He decides to switch into Politoed as I go for the U-turn. Of course, I'm going to get a crit because I'm just that cool. He goes for an Encore, which fails because I go into Ferrothorn. Now he goes for another Encore. I'm not really sure why. I think maybe he expected to go second for some reason. But I just set up the Leech Seed. And I thought he'd go for maybe an Encore again, so I switched into Jellicent. But of course he predicts that really well and goes for Toxic. That's a little unfortunate, so I'm going to have to switch out into Ferrothorn. I'm going to hope maybe he'll go for an Encore or something like that, but that doesn't work out. So he goes into Vaporeon. I go for the Leech Seed with Ferrothorn just to get a lot of health back every turn, and I am completely fine with him Wish Protecting right now. Except my Power Whip misses, which is really sad. But of course he goes into Lucario as I predict that and set up spikes. He barely gets up anything from his Wish. I'm going to go into Jellicent, because I'm like, maybe he carries the Ice Punch and not the Crunch. He carries the Crunch, not the Ice Punch. Gosh darn it. Alright, so that's a dead Jellicent. I'm going to go into Breloom, because I know it is the Mach Punch. Except, he has Extreme Speed, and I forgot about that, so that fails. Now I'm down to an early 6-4. That's not cool, but I'm going to keep trying. I might be able to win this if I keep Heatran, Rotom, and Ferrothorn around. Of course, his Landers T predicts my Heatran switch and goes for Superpower. And he's Scarved, so, wow. You're awesome for that, dude. Anyways, I'm going to go into Landers T, maybe half predicting a Volt switch, but that doesn't happen, so that's whatever. He's going to go into Vaporeon. I'm just going to U-turn out of there. I'm going to go into Rotom. He's going to rest, of course. That's the one thing I did not see in this Vaporeon, is it's so annoying. It has hydration, and it can just take hits all day. And here he goes into Jolteon, and I predicted that, and went for a Hydro Pump. So finally I'm starting to make some good plays here. Now he goes into his Vaporeon. I just go for the Volt Switch to get some damage. It does half, which is not bad, I guess. He's going to just get a rest off. I'm going to go into Ferrothorn, because I know Ferrothorn can set up Leech Seeds on this guy all day. Thank goodness I hit right there. I knew he's going to switch here. He goes into Fortress, gets some solid Stealth Rocks and Spike damage, except his wish comes true. Oh well. I'm going to set up a Leech Seed on this thing, just because I may as well maybe try to force a switch or something. Of course, he gets the Rapid Spin off and gets the Leech Seed away, and my Stealth Rocks, and my Spikes. But I know I got Job over there. He's going to go for an Earth Power, because I predicted the switch into Vaporeon. I know I could use Heatran maybe later, at least as fodder. Hopefully he doesn't get Stealth Rocks up, that's my hope. Anyways, I know he's going to go for a rest, so I go into Ferrothorn, because my Ferrothorn can pretty easily check Vaporeon. And here I predicted him to switch, so I went for a Thunder Wave. It's really kind of unfortunate. He goes into Fortress now, which is a nice play for him. Oh well, I'm going to go for the Leech Seed and of course miss, but he gets paralyzed, that works. Of course he's going to start setting up those spikes. Now my Heatran is not really going to be able to survive entry. So now it's really 4-3. I can just use Heatran as death fodder. Now at this point I'm just setting up spikes so I can force him to Rapid Spin while I switch into something. Or I could go for a Power Whip. Of course he keeps getting paralyzed, and that's kind of funny. I really can't complain about that. So here I'm going to go into Landers T, because I thought maybe he'd go for spikes again. I could get an Earthquake off and probably KO at this point. Except I don't quite KO. I mean, really, I thought maybe I'd be able to get the KO there. Unfortunately, I don't. And he goes into Vaporeon, and I'm just going to go for the Earthquake to see how much damage it does. It does a solid chunk. I'll have to keep that in the back of my mind. That is a lot of nice damage there. How can you complain? So if I get a Volt Switch off and an Earthquake, I might be able to get a KO in the future. Anyways, I'm going to set up a Leech Seed on this Vaporeon. It's going to be at 88% health. I'm going to switch out into Job, because, well, why not? It's just death fodder. I'm going to predict his switch into Fortress, just go for the Volt Switch. Actually, I didn't really predict much. I could have got that off of Vaporeon and been okay. Regardless, though, it is 3-3 right now. I was going to go for the U-turn, but unfortunately his Politoed goes for the Protect. Alright, I will get off the U-turn the second turn, and it won't be a crit this time, unfortunately. He goes for the Toxic, which, thank goodness I predicted that. I go into Ferrothorn. He's going to go for a Surf, which thank goodness it's not Scald. I'm just going to get those big seeds up, so that way I can get some HP back. Now, I thought he'd switch here, and I went for the Thunder Wave. Unfortunately, he goes into Vaporeon. I thought he'd go into Lucario. Oh well. Not that big of a deal, except if he gets the burn, which he does right here. Funny, I speak of that. But at least I can still check most of his team, or at least the 2 water types on his team with Ferrothorn. As long as I keep Leech Seed, then I will be just fine. I just have to keep the seeds up, and the burn doesn't really matter too much. Of course, he's going to switch out into Lucario now. I'm just going to keep setting up spikes. I have 2 layers up now, which is good. He is the close combat. I don't want to switch into anything because I thought maybe he'd go for a Swords Dance and predict an Ice Punch or something with Landorus. I still think I have this game in the bag. I just have to play carefully here. Alright, he's going to go into Vaporeon, which cannot take 2 Earthquakes, and I know it. That's why I switched into Landorus. Thank goodness that Vaporeon's gone. It was annoying all match. And I think I could KO this Politoed, but I thought he'd go for the Protect, so I switched into Rotom. I was going to just go for the Volt Switch, but he goes for Protect. That's a little bit unfortunate, but I should be able to KO. I'm really hoping I'll be able to KO with this low of health. And I do end up going and getting the Volt Switch off. Of course, he's going to go to Lucario. I just go into Landorus T, go for the Earthquake against his last Pokemon, Lucario. So that is a good game, my Nostalgic Pass. It really looks like I was going to lose at the beginning, but actually, I ended up prevailing. Wow. So yeah, it was a nice rain team you had there. Not much else to say other than that. Like I said, he doesn't have any social networking channels or YouTube channels or any of that. He's just on Showdown. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today, guys. Rate, comment, subscribe.
There's always money in the banana stand! No touching! No touching! No touching! No touching! No touching!